All right, so we're diving into what it really takes to be an elderly home manager.
Hmm.
And wow, after going through this RoleCatcher guide, I'm seeing things in a whole new light.
Hmm.
Yeah, I thought I had a pretty good handle on it, but there's so much more to it than you'd think.
It's true. It's one of those roles that often flies under the radar in terms of complexity.
Right. It's easy to assume it's all about compassion and caregiving,
Hmm.
which is obviously huge EE.
Yeah.
But then you start peeling back the layers and you
It's
realize,
like you're running a business.
exactly, there's this whole business administration side to it, managing staff budgets, regulations. It's a lot.
It is. And then on top of all that, you've got the healthcare aspect, which is its own beast.
And speaking of beasts, did you see that section in the guide about technology? I mean, who knew tech was playing such a huge role in elderly care these days?
Yeah, it's really changing the game. And for someone looking to get into elderly home management, understanding that tech landscape is essential.
It's like you need to be a tech-savvy caregiver, which I bet wasn't really a thing a decade ago.
Totally. We're talking telehealth, smart sensors, all kinds of innovations that directly impact resident well-being. And an effective manager needs to be on top of all of it.
It's almost like you need to be fluent in both the language of caregiving and the language of technology, which actually reminds me of something else the guide emphasized that I thought was interesting, those less obvious skills.
And like, what are you thinking?
Well, they talked a lot about things like negotiation persuasion, even systems analysis, which makes sense when you think about it. I mean, this isn't just about caring for people. It's about managing a whole ecosystem.
Absolutely. And those skills become even more crucial when you're dealing with real-world scenarios. Think about it. You've got residents with different needs, families who might not always agree with care plans, staff conflicts that need resolving.
It's a lot to juggle, and it takes a special kind of person to do it well. Someone who can balance that human touch with some serious business and management savvy.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
You know, one thing that really struck me in the guide was this whole thing about the Certified Dementia Practitioner certification.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
It's like, you know how in the tech world everyone's got their specific certifications? This is like that, but for elderly care.
It's a really valuable credential to have, especially these days.
Because dementia care is becoming more and more important, right?
Exactly. It's not just about general elderly care anymore. It's about having specialized knowledge and skills to support those living with dementia.
And the guide had this great example. Hold on, it was talking about sundowning.
Right, where people get more confused and agitated as the day goes on.
Yeah, and how a certified dementia practitioner would know how to handle that, like adjusting the care plan or the environment.
Exactly. It's about going beyond that general approach and understanding the specific needs of those individuals.
He's like, you're not just a caregiver, you're a dementia specialist.
And that kind of expertise, employers are looking for it.
Makes sense.
Okay.
Oh, and speaking of employers, the guide mentioned something about this certification boosting earning potential.
It's true. Having that certification can definitely give you an edge in the job market.
So it's not just about better care, it's about career advancement too. Which reminded me, they had that whole section on career paths, remember?
Yeah, they laid it all out pretty clearly.
Starting with entry-level roles and working your way up.
Hands-on experience, that's key.
Like starting as an elderly care assistant, getting that first-hand experience.
Exactly. You're interacting with residents every day, assisting with their needs. You really get to understand the ins and outs of the job.
And then you can use that experience to move into those management positions.
And as you progress, the responsibilities grow, the decisions get bigger.
You go from caring for individuals to overseeing an entire operation.
And that's where those leadership, negotiation, and financial management skills come in.
It all ties back to what we were talking about earlier.
It's a journey. You start with compassion and build on it with experience and skills.
But okay, let's say you've got the experience, you've got the skills.
Yeah.
How do you actually stand out when applying for these roles? Because it sounds like it's a competitive field.
Right, and this is where the guide got really interesting, especially for someone like you who's into tech.
Oh, you mean that whole thing about AI and recruitment?
Yeah.
Hit me with it. So how do we stand out? You know, with all this talk about AI, I have to admit it's a little intimidating applying for jobs these days.
I get it. But the way I see it, this is where we can use AI to our advantage.
Oh, really? I thought it was all about AI replacing us.
Well, it can feel that way sometimes. But think about it. Remember how the guide talked about AI being used to scan resumes?
Right. So instead of humans looking at them, it's algorithms making the first cut.
Exactly. And those algorithms are looking for specific things, keywords, quantifiable achievements, that sort of thing.
So it's like we need to speak their language.
Totally.
Yeah.
Your resume has to be optimized for the AI before it even reaches a human.
Okay, so instead of just saying improved resident well-being, I might say something like implemented a program that reduced falls by 15%.
Now you're getting it? Give those algorithms the data they crave.
So it's all about the numbers. But that feels kind of cold, doesn't it? Like, where's the heart in all of this?
That's where the interview comes in. Think of your resume as your ticket to the interview. That's where you get to really shine. That's where your passion, your empathy, your years of experience, that's what's going to seal the deal.
So it's like a 1-2 punch. AI gets you in the door. Human connection closes the deal.
Exactly. And for those who can master both, well, they're the ones who are going to thrive in this field.
It's like this whole new skill set we need to develop. Tech-savvy, caregiving, AI-optimized resumes. The future is wild.
But also incredibly exciting. Imagine what we can achieve when we combine this technology with our passion for caring for our elderly population.
It's like this amazing convergence of compassion and innovation. And for anyone listening who's feeling inspired, I cannot recommend this RoleCatcher guide enough. It's truly eye-opening.
It's a roadmap to becoming a leader in a field that's only getting more important.
And who knows what the future holds? With all these advancements in technology, the possibilities for enhancing elderly care are limitless.
The future is bright for those who are ready to embrace it.
Well said. And on that note, we're wrapping up another deep dive. We've explored the ins and outs of becoming an elderly home manager, uncovering the hidden complexities and exciting opportunities that await those who choose this path.
It's been a pleasure sharing these insights with you.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us. Remember, it's not just about caring for our elders, it's about leading the way in a field that's constantly evolving. We'll see you next time.